Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis and I've missed you so much. Today I figured I would sit down and just do a little chit chat with you and let you know where my head is at and some things I've been grappling with. I do have some notes over to the side, so I'm going to be looking at those. But as you can tell by the title of this video, I have felt like I've been in a bit of a rut, like a cycle of wake up, work, repeat, wake up, work, repeat, wake up, work, repeat. And yes, there is a sense of mundaneness that applies to life, like no matter, what you do. However, this one is starting to feel like a very heavy cloud. It's starting to become a routine that I don't like, that makes me tired, that makes my body really prone to sickness. And so if you're watching this and you're feeling that, just know that you are not alone and that there is a path through and out. I recently traveled to Philadelphia for a little over a weekend, 3 or 4 days. Nothing crazy, but sometimes a short trip for me was all it took to get me out of my environment and put myself in a different air, a different city, different sights, sounds, smells. And this trip wasn't necessarily to escape my life, but it just created some space between my routine so that I could see my life a little bit differently or see it with different eyes. And so if you're just super bored, or you're just waking up and you're just tired of the same stuff, it just feels like Groundhog Day, you'd be surprised at how much switching your environment really helps. I think about my studio and the thoughts that I think, or the thoughts that I was thinking before I went on my trip, were the same stuff. I want to do more, I'm bored, I'm not sure what to do. And sometimes it's hard to tell if I'm just being irrational, delusional, or if I just need to, suck it up and accept this adult life. But I just don't believe that, because it just feels so dissatisfying. There's just this chip on my shoulder that this is not it. And if you're feeling that chip on your shoulder, that might be why you're watching this video, or it came across your timeline. But I realized that when you have that chip, the change that you make doesn't need to be very big. It could be as small as taking a different route to work, or working from a coffee shop that you've never been to before. I just want to share a few things that have helped me start to shift. Now, I'm not in this whole new energy where I've manifested my dream life yet, but it feels like my life needs to be shaken up. And I feel like if you're watching this video, your life needs to be shaken up. And for me, it's almost like I'm living a life that's sort of expired, and I would like to go to the store and take a new one off the shelf. And when you take that new product off the shelf, maybe you're opening it and you're what is this? Where does this go? This tastes different. All of that is normal. That uncomfortability is normal. And one of the things that I recommend, and things that I've been doing for myself, because I don't want this video to be preachy, I just want it to come from the heart, and I just want to share the space for people who just are feeling really, really stuck. Okay, so I have started to break my routine in really small ways. For example, working from a coffee shop that I've never been to. Sometimes discomfort is a good thing. It means that I'm not coasting, because I've been coasting and I'm not very happy. So maybe you order a hot tea instead of a matcha. Maybe you walk your dog a different path. It really doesn't have to be big. Like, it can be small, but sometimes doing that really small step just like proves to yourself that you are capable of taking action in a different direction. Okay, that brings me to my next point, which is taking imperfect action. You don't need to have it all figured out, and you can't do it wrong. Let me repeat that. You don't have to have it all figured out, and you can't do it wrong. When I hear those words, like, a weight just lifts off my chest, because I overthink, I overanalyze, and I stress about making the quote unquote right decision, right move. And sometimes that paralyzes me into taking no action at all. But the thing about life is, like, you're never gonna have it all figured out. And even though people like to come on here and pretend that they do, like, they do not. That's part of, I've realized, like, the blessing and the curse of life is, like, the to-do list never ends. Like, you just never really have it all figured out, but you keep making choices anyways, and you see which ones stick and which choices bring the results that you want. And so if you knew that you couldn't get it wrong, what would you do? What action would you take? Would you move differently about the world? Because I believe that you can't get it wrong. I believe that you'll be redirected or kind of like scooted over or realigned to what it is that you want, but there's no need to beat yourself up because you just can't get it wrong. If you're trying and there's intention behind it and you're taking action, you can't get it wrong. I've avoided action, and I personally feel like avoiding action can be the thing that leads to mental illness or like depression, at least speaking for me. And I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but I've started worrying less about what the right decision is, and I'll just like do it. And the action does not need to be perfect. Okay, my perfectionist out there, it doesn't need to be perfect. And so my intent with this video is that if you feel like you've been stuck, what's one small thing, no matter how like messy or cliche or like uncomfortable it is, like, what's one small change that you can make? Because if you're being called to make a change, it just might be time. And I believe that everyone deserves to live a life that they are content with. I didn't necessarily say happy, because I do think you can choose to be happy, but contentment and satisfaction with where you are, I think, is really important. And that's all I wanted to share with you all. You're not alone. Take it step by step. I love you, and I will see you all in the next video.